Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Mckayla. This is my grandpa Tim. He was not unexpected with me, if you didn't know, and we basically just wanted to kind of break down a live video that Kalyn made maybe like a week or so ago, and we basically just want to like clear some things up because there was a lot of lies in that video, and we just kind of wanted to like clear our name and leave it at that. My grandpa is not going to be on my channel again, and I'm not going to be talking about Kalyn again on my channel. So yeah, this is the one chance to kind of like clear everything up. So I'm just going to kind of break down the video like I said.
Could I say something?
Yeah.
I agreed to be on this with Mckayla because Kalyn said a lot of things that were untrue. He bashed my wife and I. He bashed Mckayla. And I told her we need to at least defend ourselves. I'm not a big social media person. You'll probably never see me on this again. But I think this is a way we can straighten things out and let you know, to people that watch Mckayla's channel, what we're dealing with.
So, I'm pretty sure all of these are in order. I watched the video, and if you didn't know, it's on YouTube, but that's how I saw it. I didn't even know he made a live, but
Actually, we were told by someone else that he made a video.
Yeah.
That's how we saw it. We didn't
Yeah.
even...
I didn't know anything about it or anything, but whenever I did watch it, whenever everybody convinced me to watch it, I just kind of wrote down everything that was a lie throughout the video. So it should be in order, like I said. But I'm just going to start out with how Kalyn said that he hadn't seen Gracelynn in months when she was born. So I believe this is about the fight, your guys' fight.
Back in March.
And Gracelynn was born in January. She was born January 29th. And so she was maybe about a month and a half, somewhere around there, whenever their fight happened. So he did see her. He was seeing her, I think it was like Wednesday and Sunday or something like that.
Well, let me clarify something. There was never a fight.
Okay, we'll get to that. But he was seeing Gracelynn and Timmy both like twice a week or something like that. I don't remember the exact days, but he was seeing them. So I wanted to clear that up. And then Kalyn said that our dog, the dog that we did have, that he was a pit bull. His name is Omar. He wasn't a pit bull. He was a boxer. And then he also said that my grandpa told our dog to attack Kalyn whenever Omar, like, our dog's reaction to two people fighting is obviously to protect his owner. So that's why, you know, obviously my dog bit or whatever Kalyn, but Omar was so weak, I doubt it even hurt that bad, but...
Yeah, he was 12 years old at the time.
Yeah.
He's since passed away.
But yeah, you can go ahead and tell about the fight now, like what happened.
The day he claims there was a fight, he came to our house to drop off some of Mckayla's belongings from the house they lived in Beloit or Sebring, whatever the address was. It was Courtney Road. Mckayla had moved out of there before Grace was born because it was out in the country and she wanted to be close to us in case something happened. Maybe she went early into delivery or something like that. So she stayed with us for a couple months before Grace was born. After Grace was born, she told him, I'm not coming back. I guess you told him we're done?
Yeah, I basically just told him that I didn't want to live there anymore. He said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to live here with my friend. And he actually agreed. He didn't want me to move back in. So that's why I just stayed at my grandparents'. I was like, I'm obviously, I don't want to live there anyways. He doesn't want me to live there. He wants to live with his friend. So I'm going to live with my grandparents.
Well, that day when he came over, he basically demanded to see the kids.
But earlier in the day, we had already made plans for him to see the kids. He then said that he was busy and couldn't see them anymore. So I said, okay. And then out of nowhere, he texted me and said, hey, I'm out front with your stuff. And I was so confused because we never talked about like him dropping any of my stuff off or anything. So he just kind of showed up. He knew that the guy I was seeing at the time was here, and he said, I'm not going to go batshit crazy, just let me in. And I was like, whatever, he's already here, he has boxes, so I'm just going to let him bring them in, and he can like say hi to the kids or whatever. So he was like bringing the stuff in, and I went upstairs because I didn't want to be like around him.
Anyway, after he dropped the stuff off, I told him, okay, you dropped the stuff off, now it's time to go. And he said, no, I'm not leaving. I want to see my kids. And I said, well, you're not seeing them today. It's time to go. He pushed me out of the way, started walking towards the kitchen. I grabbed him, put him up against the wall, and said, you're leaving my house. This is my house. You don't belong here. Get out. That's when Omar started biting him, I guess. Because he yelled, Omar, stop biting me. Stop biting me. That's when he decided to leave. It was a shoving match. It wasn't even a fight.
Well, then I heard like a bang from up my room. So I came downstairs, and Kalyn was very, I don't even know the word to use. He was very, just crying a lot, freaking out. And he grabbed me and he pushed me out of the way. And then he ran to the door and he just kept screaming at everybody. And he eventually left, and that was that. And then he called the police, and the police came.
The funny part was he called the police on me that I attacked him in my house. I didn't attack him. I tried to get him out of my house.
So yeah, that's basically what happened there. So that's that. But also in the video, Kalyn said that after I had gone back to the apartment to grab some of my things, he was talking about how he locked the bedroom door and all this stuff. I went back to the apartment, and I was knocking on the door. I knocked on his bedroom, or our bedroom, whatever. I knocked on the bedroom door to get in because that's where the lease was. I kept it in the bedside table.
Could I say something too? This was almost 11 o'clock in the morning. He was still in bed.
Yeah, it was getting kind of, later into the day. But I just knocked on the door. I said I need to grab the lease. I wanted to grab a few more clothes and
some of your tax papers.
Yeah, I just needed to grab things I needed. So whenever I did that, Kalyn was yelling at my grandpa. And then obviously my grandpa was defending me and himself. And nobody touched anybody. It was just, talking. So then we left, and the next day...
Well, you didn't finish the whole story. He came, while you were looking for your papers, I was standing in the hallway. Okay. He came out to me and said, so Mckayla's giving the apartment up, huh?
He did, yeah.
And I said, no, she's not giving it up. You're leaving.
He said,
and he started yelling at me, telling me, I'm not leaving. My name's on the lease. I don't have to leave. And I said stuff to him like, you don't pay anything to live here. Mckayla pays all the bills. How do you think just because your name's on the lease, you get to stay here?
Like, I bought pretty much everything in the house. The only thing that wasn't mine was our, decorative bed, frame. It wasn't even part of the bed. It was just, a decorative bed frame. in our dressers in the bedroom. And then his aunt brought something over for Kalyn to have, and Kalyn's clothes and shoes, and that was basically all that was his. Everything else I had bought. So it was like frustrating because, you know, obviously it's like my place. So, and he was just like living there for free, just kind of like taking everything that I had from me, and like using me, like just being like, you know, living free. So that's why I was so upset, and that's why I wanted my house back, because it was, you know, the kids got used to it. Timmy started calling it his home and stuff. But yeah, so after all of this happened, I forgot my keys, and I realized that once I got back to my grandparents' house, and I said, oh crap, I better go get those, like, they're my keys for my car. So I ran back over there, and as I was about to knock, well, I think I did knock on the door. I don't remember. But as soon as I got over there, he opened the door, and I said, hey, I left my keys. He said, oh, yeah, I know. I put them on the counter so you wouldn't forget them or something, or so I could give them back or whatever. I don't know. He said he put them on the counter. So I ran in, I grabbed them, and then I just left. I didn't talk to him or anything. And he said something about how I heard him on the phone with his lawyer, and I was like spying on him and watching him and stuff. No, I had to go somewhere, and I forgot my keys, so I realized, oh, I don't have my keys. And I ran back over there real quick because I just wanted to get them. And then I never heard him on the phone with his lawyer. He happened to be at the door whenever I was at the door. And he also said
claimed
he
we
didn't.
Were stalking him.
Yeah, and then he said that he didn't even know my keys were there whenever he told me he knew they were. So that's all very confusing. But as I was walking back to my grandparents' house, Kalyn was yelling from across the street, just basically cussing my grandpa out, and saying that he was going to go in. I was
standing on the porch,
yeah,
my porch at the time.
Yeah, my grandpa was standing on his porch just watching to make sure Kalyn, you know, wouldn't do something like stupid, or like, you know, just watching to make sure I was okay. And Kalyn started like cussing at my grandpa, and he was flipping my grandpa off and making like jerking off motions at my grandpa and saying, I'm getting restraining on you, F you, like F everything basically. And like, yeah, it was very crazy. So yeah, that's that. Moving on, Kalyn said my grandpa had a liver transplant. He never had a liver transplant.
No, I had some medical problems, but it is fine now.
Yeah, it resolved itself.
I never had a liver transplant.
Yeah. Next, Kalyn said that I was blowing up his phone because I knew he was on live. I had Kalyn blocked, so I had no idea he was on live. I don't watch his Instagram or any of his social medias to see if he's like active or not. And blowing up his phone. It was kind of late at night, and the landlord was calling me and texting me and telling me I needed to talk to Kalyn and come to an agreement with him on what we were going to do, like who was going to move out or like what was happening. And basically I told the landlord, okay, I'll call him and I'll try and get a hold of him and get this settled tonight so we can figure something out. And Kalyn wouldn't answer or anything, so that's why I kept calling and texting. And then eventually I just left it with a group chat between me, Kalyn, and my landlord, and I basically just said that we all needed to sit down in person and figure something out because it's getting messy. And then I left it at that. Up next, Kalyn was saying that I held the kids against him for no reason. I know that I made some videos in the past basically saying I was keeping the kids from him for no reason, but that's because Kalyn basically manipulated me to feel like shit about keeping the kids from him, and I kept the kids away from him because there was a video of him doing cocaine and dealing drugs, and I just, obviously that made me very uncomfortable, and
you don't want your kids around.
I don't want the kids around that. I do still have those videos. If I need, you know, I just have them for like court and stuff. So yeah, that's why the kids weren't seeing him. Next, he said that he had suspicions that I wanted to get back with him, so he would drop the court case. I had no problem with the court case. I still have no problem with the court case. I am a good mom. Like, I don't do anything wrong. Like, I've never been in trouble with the law or anything. Like, you know, I don't do drugs. Like, I'm a good mom. So basically, he was saying that I was trying to get him to drop this court case. But the reason that I decided to get back together with him was because I wanted to try and have a good relationship with him, for the kids' sake. Like, if we could work it out, I wanted to try and work it out. And I did tell him I wanted to take things slow, but obviously it didn't end up that way. We, like, jumped into things pretty quickly. And, yeah, so that's basically how we got back together. And then...
Which I might add was against what I tried to warn her, that nothing was going to change. He wasn't going to change. She told me, no, he's different. He's different this time. He's going to change. He's going to be better. And 4 months later, she found out I was right. Not to put the knife in your back or anything, but she was told.
And then about the apartment, I found the apartment. He said something about me, like, something about me trying, I don't even remember what he said, but I found the apartment, that I'm living in currently. It's the one he wouldn't leave. And, I basically told him whenever I found that I was moving in with or without him, because I told him, I said, I don't need you, like, financially, like, I'm moving in either way, so me and the kids have our own private space, and he decided he wanted to move in, and that's why he did. Up next, Kalyn said that he paid all of the bills at the actual house we lived in. It was our previous house that we lived in like November of 2018. And he said he paid all the bills. He did not pay all the bills. We split the bills in half.
And
yeah.
I can prove that because my wife would write the checks every month, and Mckayla would pay her half. Kalyn would give us his half every month. She, on this house in Sebring that we're talking about, they lived in before Gracie was born, Mckayla put the money down up front. First month's rent plus the security deposit. After she left that house, Kalyn was going to stay there. Well, something happened and he got evicted, decided to move, whatever. Mckayla called the owner of the place they lived and wanted to know if she could have her security deposit back. She was told no, because there's too much damage. We have to replace all the carpet because of the dogs. He had like 4 dogs there. And there was too much damage that she had to keep her Mckayla's security deposit. And she was out that money.
Yeah, so I was out. It was like $9.50 a month to live there, so I was out, quite a bit of money. And the next thing is Kalyn said that me and my ex that I dated not too long ago, he said that we got, started dating right away after, Gracelynn was born, or right after we broke up or whatever. And I just wanted to make it clear that me and that guy talked for about 2 months before we started dating. Not that it really matters, but
we're trying to put the truth out there.
Yeah.
Not just a bunch of lies that he construes in his head.
Next, this one really blows my mind. He said he let me do whatever I wanted, and that is beyond not true. And he said that I asked to leave at 8 p.m. before, and he said no, because he needed a notice or something.
Well, that would leave him home with the kids by himself.
Okay, well, first of all, I never asked to leave at 8 p.m. The only time we did anything was on like Thursday or Friday when it was like Thursday or Fridays whenever my grandparents would watch the kids. They would keep them all night, and then me and Kalyn would have just like a day or a night to kind of do whatever, whether we stayed home or went out, whatever we decided to do. So, yeah, but I never asked him to leave the house, like, alone, so he would be alone with the kids. I think I did, like, once to go to Walmart or something because we needed groceries. But other than that, I never asked to hang out with friends. He always told me I needed to hang out with friends, always told me I needed more friends. And then, I just never, it really didn't interest me at the time. So, yeah, wanted to clear that up because that never happened. Up next, Kalyn said I was mentally ill because I like to dye my hair. I've always been that way. I've been dyeing my hair since I was 11.
So all you women out there who change your hair color weekly, monthly, whatever it is, you're mentally ill because you change your hair color.
But yeah, if you know me, then you know I've always been that way. I dye my hair all the time. It's just, I like change. It's something I like to do.
In fact, she got in trouble
Yeah.
with the producers on Unexpected because she changed her hair color when she wasn't allowed to do it.
I just like changing my hair color, basically. So that's what I'm just trying to get to.
So you had to wear a wig, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you changed your hair color?
Yeah. But, yeah, so I dye my hair just whenever I get bored, and that's that. I'm not mentally ill. Up next, I never had an issue with him having a job. He said I, broke up with him because he had a job. And there was a video in the past I made where I guess I said something that made it seem like I broke up with him because he had a job or something like that. I want to clear this up. I never broke up with him because he had a job. I broke up with him because, yes, he had a job. He would go to work all day, cool, whatever. He'd come home and he would either go out or fall asleep. The job wasn't the issue. Obviously, he provided for us in the first apartment we ever lived in. But yeah, so never had an issue with him having a job. And he said he was part-time for the railroad company, and that he worked 8 days or something. That's not true. He is part-time for the railroad company, but he only worked 3 or 4 days total all winter. And he did make $400 a day.
And I can back her up on that because every time he went to work,
he had to take my car.
Mckayla's car, which is a car my wife and I pay for, and I got on her every time he took the car. I told her, I said, he is not to be driving that car. He has no insurance. If something happens to that car, I have to pay for it.
Yeah. But he didn't make $400 a day. He didn't make close to that. And yes, his money did go into my bank account, but that's because he had overdraft fees, and he was $400 in overdraft fees or something like that. It was a lot. They ended up just taking his account completely out. But he had a ton of overdraft fees, and obviously if his money went to his account, it would pay for those fees and he wouldn't have any money left. So he logged into my bank account and he had it sent to mine, and I would Venmo his money right back to him. So I didn't get to keep any of his money. I do have proof, since everything has to have proof. But yeah, so that's what happened there. Up next, he said that we would share YouTube money, but I never agreed to that. If he was in my YouTube, he was in my video for me, and I told him that. I said, you don't get money for being in a YouTube video with me, we never agreed on that. And, what we did agree on, though, is he was supposed to make his own channel, and then we were going to get a joint bank account, so both of our YouTube money would go into the same account. But obviously, we never ended up doing that. So, there's that. Up next, yes, I did say we would get married, but after thinking about it, I knew I couldn't marry him. I thought about it all the time. I was like, am I really going to marry this guy? Do I really want to marry this guy? Like, is he really going to make me happy for the rest of my life? And ultimately, I came to the decision that he wouldn't. And, yeah, so.
And proof of that, my wife and I paid for a wedding dress about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was right before I got
During
pregnant with Gracelynn.
the time we were still filming for the show Unexpected. I was dead against it, but I was kind of overruled by my wife and Mckayla. I was like, she's really going to do this. I was dead against it, but we bought it anyway. In fact, the wedding dress is in storage right now. And hopefully someday she'll find a nice guy that'll treat her right, and she will get married.
Yep, so that's my future wedding dress. I just got it a little early, that's fine. Up next, Kalyn said that I locked the neighbor out of the house. I did not lock the neighbor out of his house. It's a duplex, and there's no way that I would get a key to the main front door and the neighbor upstairs wouldn't. Like, that's crazy. You know, there's no way you can live somewhere without a key to the house. So yeah, he must have forgot his key if he was locked out. Maybe he was never locked out. I don't know, but all I do know is I didn't lock him out because he either should have had a key or he forgot his key. So I wanted to clear that up because I would never purposefully lock my neighbor out of his house. Up next, it's about the utilities. I turned the utilities off because I'm not paying for someone else to live there. And I didn't know the gas was connected to my neighbor's gas. Like, I didn't know our furnace was connected, so I didn't know that if I shut our heat off, his heat would go off. Which I did text him and apologize to him. I felt really bad, but we talked and everything's okay. But yeah, basically, just think about it. If you were in my position, would you be paying for somebody else's gas? You wouldn't. Unless you're super rich and don't know what else to do with your money.
What you mean is you were paying the utilities.
Yeah, the utilities
but
were in my name.
Staying there.
Yeah.
Kalyn was staying there for free.
And I wasn't going to pay for somebody else to live,
For him.
Yeah. Up next, he mentioned something about how I use my platform to bash him. I don't use my platform to bash anybody. My platform was made when I was 17. It was made when I was 16. And I made it because I wanted to help other girls in my, situation, and I wanted to share my experience. I wanted things to be, I wanted to be able to look back on things. I wanted to be able to give advice. It was made for other teen moms. It was made for all of us to, help each other and stuff. And to, experience things together and all of that. So just the fact that, he would say that that's what my platform, what I use my platform for, it's kind of crazy. All right, we had to take a quick little break, but, so next is, I didn't walk out on the lease. I took some of my things to my grandparents waiting for him to move out. So basically, whenever he was refusing to leave, I decided to take some of the kids' things and some of, my clothes and stuff that I would need, to my grandparents waiting for him to move out.
Which he refused to do. And that is the part that really bothered me when he claims that he was on the lease. His name's on the lease, so he deserved to stay there. Even though he was staying there for free, not paying any of the utilities, not paying rent.
Even knowing
because his name's on the lease.
Well, he knew that me and the kids didn't have a room here, too. They knew that, he knew that. And he knew that we were waiting for him to leave so we could have beds and stuff again.
And the bottom line is, he was mad because Mckayla broke off their relationship. And he was going to do everything he can to make life miserable for her, me, my wife, my family. That was his goal, to make our life miserable. That's why he made the video. That's why he told all these lies. That was his goal. And I'm sure he's probably still doing it. I don't know. Because I don't
know
watch.
Either, yeah.
I don't watch.
Yeah.
I don't even watch Mckayla's videos. I've checked them a couple of times just to see what she puts out there, but I'm not a social media person. I don't do it.
Next, Kalyn and the lady he was on live with, like, said something about how am I capable of being able to take care of my kids by myself. I'm a mom. That's what happens. I don't know why I wouldn't be capable. Like, I was capable of taking care of them when he was there and wasn't there, if that makes sense. I was capable of taking care of them their whole life. Like, sure, I struggle and I, like, need my grandparents'
Can I
help
add an
sometimes,
opinion here?
but yeah.
What you're saying is you took care of him when he was there, and he didn't help much.
Yeah.
So what makes a difference if he's there or not?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, he did help a little bit more whenever we lived at the recent place we lived at, but still, I did everything I was supposed to do. I was still a mom. Like, I was up literally every night for probably the whole time we were living there. I was up every night, all night, because Gracelynn was up all night. She was going through teething or something, and I didn't sleep at all, and that's the only reason he got up with them in the morning and I slept in some days, because I literally got no sleep. And he said something that we would fight all the time because I would bring the kids over here in the morning or whatever. I brought them over here twice in the 3 or 4 months we lived there. And the reason I brought them over is because he refused to get up whenever he slept all night. And I was up all night taking care of Gracelynn, and I just couldn't go anymore. Like, if you're up for like a week straight without sleeping, obviously you're gonna need help. So that's the only reason that I brought the kids over here some mornings. Most of the time we didn't even fight about it. I think we fought about it once, and I have no idea why. So yeah, but I'm perfectly capable of taking care of my kids. They're my kids, It's just, I'm a mom.
And for any of you out there that think that in any way I'm trying to baby Mckayla or anything else, it's exactly the opposite. I'm pushing her to take more on herself, because I was a young parent at 18. I know what it's like. It's not easy. Is Mckayla perfect? No. By no means is she perfect. Far from it.
Yeah.
Does she try? She's a 19-year-old, soon to be 20-year-old, mother of 2. It's hard for her. Anybody out there in that same situation, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's hard. And yes, she needs help sometimes. And my wife and I are going to be here to help her. But I still tell her sometimes, no, I can't help you today. Suck it up. That's the way it is. So no, I don't baby her all the time. She does hear no from me quite a bit.
Up next, Kalyn said something about opening up my mail from my old counseling place and seeing all my mental illnesses and shit. First of all, Kalyn opening my mail is illegal. Second of all, he did not see any mental illness whatsoever on that paper, because I've gotten that paper before. So basically, I quit going to this counseling office for a while because I didn't like it anymore. I didn't like it anymore. They just weren't meeting my needs. So I stopped going, and I got a letter from them before, basically just saying that they're canceling my care or whatever, and that they hope to see me again soon, and they hope I'm doing well. The only thing I was ever diagnosed by that counselor was anxiety. That was it. Nothing else. So I started seeing another counselor. Anyways, that's irrelevant. He opened the mail, said he saw all these mental illnesses. He didn't see anything. It was just a letter saying, I hope you're doing well, and hope to see you again soon. But again, him opening my mail is illegal. And then last but not least, I paid all of the bills at our house, at the apartment, at the duplex where I'm currently living in. I paid the down payment, I paid the security deposit, I paid first month's rent, I paid every rent from every month we've lived there. I have paid our couch and our rug and our end tables. I paid all of that. I paid every time. I have paid for Wi-Fi, electric, gas. Every bill I have paid. Clearing that up right now. And that's all from the video that I have written down. And that's all that I'm going to further address. So I'm just dropping it from now on.
And hopefully a lot of the comments some of you people have put out there from his live video with this Katie, whoever she is.
Yeah, I've never
we'll
heard
maybe
of her.
rethink it, and we'll give you a chance. Like I said, we're not here to bash him. We're here to tell you the truth.
Yeah, this was basically just a clearing our name for ourselves thing. If you want to believe us, you can. If you don't, that's fine too. It's kind of like whatever. And yeah, so.
And I'll add, tomorrow I'm going to court for my restraining order.
And I'm going to court for my restraining order
Actually,
against Kalyn.
He doesn't need a restraining order against me, because now that he's out of the house, I don't have to talk to him. I never talked to him in the first place if I didn't have to.
Yep.
A little example. He was at our house on Christmas Day because Mckayla and my wife said, you gotta at least let him over to watch the kids open their presents. Grudgingly, I said, okay, I'll let him over. For that day, maybe he was here, 2 hours? I never talked to him, never spoke to him. If he was in one room, I was in a different room. I avoided him. I act like he wasn't even here. So this crap that he's telling people that I'm constantly harassing him and giving him a hard time is totally false. I don't talk to him because I don't like him. I don't want to talk to him.
Yep.
I'll
And
give you a little other example of how our family has tried to help this kid. My wife and I lent him money about 2 years ago to buy a car. He got the car, had it for 4 or 5 months maybe, sold it. For a while he paid us back like he said he would. All of a sudden those payments stopped. We got about half that money back. Just as recently as this past November, my mother-in-law has an older car, a Honda Civic. Kayla asked us, would you sell it to him? She said, okay. She kind of grudgingly gave in and said, okay, we'll give him the car, but it needed brake lines. The car has sat in front of the house since November, never touched. She gave him the car. He never touched it, never tried to fix the brake lines, nothing.
yep.
So
So
anybody out there that has this shitty opinion of me, Mckayla, my wife, those are the facts. Thanks for watching.
well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.